Speaking to a man called Dave. He's no stranger to the show. He's been here before, but now Dave is talking to us about insurance because Dave is a broker. Dave is a financial advisor on insurance. He's the guy who knows, firstly, why we need insurance, and secondly, where to get insurance. And now that we're in the festive season, what not to forget so that we don't regret when the year starts. He is with Old Michelle here in Goodwood. Dave, good evening. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hi, Pastor G. How are you? Good evening.
Are you well?
I am good, and yourself?
No, I'm very well, very well. If there were to give an example of a person who's well, they should take me and use me for example of what a person who's well looks like. So, Dave,
Yeah.
last time I spoke to you, you were a pastor's kid, and you were a youth minister. But now I'm speaking to you. You are an insurance broker, insurance expert of sorts. How has that journey come about for you?
Indeed, Pastor G. I believe the last time that we spoke, I acquired an opportunity where I was invited to an interview by Old Mutual.
Yeah.
And since then, I had attended training and I took the necessary courses and I became accredited in due process. And yeah, so now I'm a financial advisor.
Yeah, and you're about to advise us, yeah, about
Yeah.
finances and also mainly on the areas of insurance, Dave. In the black community, Dave, it's believed that if I was to take a life cover on my mother's name or on a relative's name, it's believed that I want to kill the person and pocket the money. Do you find there are a lot of myths around black people or black people and insurance?
Yes. Thank you for that question, Pastor G. So I found that within our community, there's a lack of education with regards to the importance of such products because
Mm,
I've spoken to a large number of people of African descent, our brothers and sisters, and most of them believe that once you start talking about funeral cover, life insurance, that you have ulterior motive. And that's a sad fact because it speaks to what the lack of information does to our ability to acquire money.
yeah,
Did you know that in this country, only 10% of South Africans have life cover?
sure, 10% only.
10% of South Africans are living with life cover, which means 90% are just going on and daring God every day. So you don't know.
Yeah, then you've
So
got a
what
lot
we
of
try to
work, my
do as
brother. Mm,
Yeah, what we try to do as financial advisors is we have conversations that are led with advice. We try to educate as more people as we can to try and change that mindset. Because if I change one mind, then
mm.
that's one mind with life cover, and that's a whole generation altered. Whereas if this person were to, God forbid, pass, if they have life insurance, then there's a substantial amount that it will issue out to that person's dependents, and then they will start from a positive place rather than leaving them in debt, and now they have to fend for themselves and starting off from negative six to basically they would have to play catch up just to catch up with their counterparts who are set up financially.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to avoid with equipping people with these policies and the financial freedom, basically.
Yeah, let me give you 2 seconds to deal with the noise in the background there for people to give you a chance to talk because I want to find out, Dave, um, what causes people, because when you say 10% of the population, you're now cutting across race, across gender, across creed. When you're now talking about 10% of the population of South Africa, what are the cause? Is lack of education the only reason? But if you're saying 10%, you are cut. You're also talking about educated people. You're talking about semi-educated people. You're talking about professionals. You're talking about politicians. You're talking about pastors. Everyone, um, meaning that there's a whole lot that fall in the 90%. of people who don't have this type of product. Why? What's going on?
So generally happens is people, some of them might know about these policies, but there's an atmosphere of distrust that's there, and that's
Mm.
basically what we are trying to take away one step at a time.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a company like Old Mutual, it's been around for 176 years
Mm.
and more, because we
Yeah.
are still growing.
Yeah.
And that's and our slogan is Old Mutual, and a certain friend in uncertain times.
Oh
And that's
wow.
mostly because we mostly look for reasons to pay, you know.
Yeah.
We know that if something should happen, then you are underwater, you are stranded, you are frustrated, you can't think. So let Old Mutual be that sense of relief for you. Because at the end of the day, if that event were to happen, who would you rather pay for it? Your parents who are still traumatized, or a big company that can afford to pay?
Of course, a big company. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're basically paying for your peace of mind, knowing that your family doesn't have
Mm.
to
Mm.
now start searching for funds in the unfortunate demise of a person or
Yeah.
event.
Now then, Dave. Here's a Pastor G. He needs financial advice. What type
Mhm.
of products do you think a person must have? What are your top three, top five products that you think if you can't, if you really can't, but these products you can't go without?
Number one,
Mm.
individually, you need to have a life cover
All
for
right.
yourself. Number two, we need to
Wait,
have a
wait, wait.
funeral plan.
Before you go to the next one, let's talk about number one. What does a life cover look like? What are we talking about when we're talking about the life cover? And what are the ranges? What are we looking at in terms of money here?
So with the life cover, so, it's a coverage that you afford to yourself to say that in the event of my passing,
Mm.
I want my children, I've left my children accustomed to a certain lifestyle, or my
Okay.
family, or your dependents, or whoever it might be.
Mm.
It doesn't even have to be a family. You could say that there's a house that I'm paying off,
Yeah.
and you can use your life cover as surety that in the event of your passing, that life cover can pay off for for your house, so that your children are not left destitute after you pass.
Mm.
So a life cover is basically your way of controlling how things turn out, even in the event of your passing.
Yeah.
It's that element of peace of mind. It's
Mm.
also giving your children a head start in life, and it's some things that we've witnessed. You know, like you've heard that a teacher has sadly passed away, and now
Mm.
the child has inherited the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they go around spending the money recklessly, and that's
Mm.
failure on the part of the kid, because the parent has done their job. You know.
Yes. Yes.
So where we come in is we come and we educate people about handling your finances wisely, planning for the future, because
Mm.
today is not the only day in time, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So what am I looking at in terms of what can I spend? I'm a 48-year old. Yeah, I'm old. I'm a 48 year old and soon to turn 49 on the 1st of January. Um, what am I looking at in terms of how much would I spend on a month to month basis or on a life cover of a male 49-year-old?
Certainly, Pastor G. So if you would want a cover, the best thing for you to do would be to contact me, and then I generate a code for you. Because what happens is, in the system, it takes into account the multiple factors involved, you know, like, are you a smoker?
Mm,
Do you do risky activities and things like that?
mm,
Because
mm.
those things will tend to affect your premium, you know. And
Oh,
are you a learned person, you know, and things like that? What's your standard of life, you know, some things like that. So
yeah,
those are things that we all take into account to better prepare a cover that will suit you,
yeah.
so to speak.
All right, now let's move
Yes.
on to the second one. You said live cover, and what's the next one?
So the second one would be funeral cover,
A funeral
and
cover.
that's
Mm,
the general one. That's the one that we all know about,
mm,
because having covered yourself and your dependents,
yeah.
it's a sign of maturity, you know.
Mm,
Because if you walk around and you're not covered, it just shows that you are selfish in a way, because you're just saying, I'm walking around, come whatever may, I don't care, because I'll be gone. And
mm,
it's such a vile way to think, because
mm, mm.
should that event happen, God forbid, then it's not you who has to bear that burden. It's your
Yeah.
family, it's your loved ones.
Yeah,
People who are supposed to
wenohambile.
be grieving.
Mm.
Exactly. The people who are supposed to be grieving are now tending to stressing people because they don't have the funds to handle that particular function.
Mm.
Whereas if you make a provision for that particular instance, then
Mm.
you know that, okay, I'm sorted, whatever happens, and my children are sorted, or my family is sorted, you know. And also with Old Mutual, just a fun fact, if you are paying for if you have a funeral cover and you've covered other people, and God forbid you pass, there's a
Yeah.
feature there that you can opt to add that's called premium protection. In the event that you do pass, you pass away, it pays out for you, but all the other people who you are paying for, their cover will continue even after you've passed, and they
Yeah.
won't even have to pay a cent because you have made a provision for that. They're covered for
That
life.
is wonderful. Yeah, that's just amazing. So I pay, and then when I perish, then they continue to be covered. So should any of them die at any stage, they'll be covered. That's just simply amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you reach retirement age, then you stop paying, like
Ah.
stop paying completely.
Oh wow.
You are covered.
That's amazing. Now you know how to sell,
It's
my
just these
brother.
things that
Yeah.
we need to tell our people about, because the lack of knowledge is what leads us to bad decision making. So we are on a mission to uh, combat that ignorance, basically.
All right. Let's go on to the third one then.
The third one is the one that most people like, which is your savings. So
Mm.
at All Mutual, we offer a variety of savings. Like we
Yeah.
have a savings for your goal that could be you're going to Dubai, or you're buying a car, buying your first house. We have a savings for retirement. That's usually for people who have retirement annuities, but they just feel like that won't be enough. So you
Mm.
are able to save more to supplement the gaps in that regard. And
Yeah.
we also do have a retirement plan. And the most important one, which is one that I'd like people to consider, is the savings for your goal with this, which is education with the premium
Mm.
protection.
Yeah.
This one, you are basically saving for your kid's future. Like when they are done with high school, it depends on when you start and when you want it to pay out,
Yeah.
you know. So with that one, it has a premium waiver. And what it does actually is, if you've added that premium waiver and you are saving consistently, should something happen to you,
Mm.
that investment will continue even after you have passed.
Oh wow. Oh
It will
wow.
still see to it that your child gets the full amount in the event of your departure, and
Mm.
they will be cared for as if you were there and still paying.
That's powerful. That's another one that's powerful. Yeah, because it protects the children. It protects the family. Yeah. Let's go on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe those are your top three,
All
but
right.
that's not where it ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So for those who work in hostile environments, we have a disability cover. Like maybe let's say you are a window washer, you work from heights. In the event that you do fall, there is a disability cover.
Mm.
Let's say you work at a dangerous environment. Let's say you're a cop, or let's say you're a taxi driver. We have accidental death cover.
Mm.
Accidental death cover, it's like a life insurance, but it only pays out in the event that you die in a car accident. No, not even a car accident, an accident, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a cheaper alternative to a life cover.
All right. You
Then
know.
what we also,
Yeah. Continue.
sorry, no, let me say the last one. The last one that we have is severe illness cover. Let's say maybe you work at a hospital where you are more likely to be exposed to these elements. We have
Mm.
a severe illness cover which will pay out in the event that you are afflicted, so that you can handle your hospital bills or whatever costs that may arise to get you accustomed to your new lifestyle.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Where do people get you in case they want advice from you, or they're saying, no, I do need a funeral cover, I do need a life cover, I do need an investment, I do need the products that you're talking about. Where can people get a hold of you?
Okay, thanks, Pastor G. So people can just send me an email at smakanya@oldmutual.com. That's
Okay.
smakanya@oldmutual.com. Alternatively, they can call, WhatsApp, or send me a text at my number 083 658 9393.
All right.
So that's,
Because, yeah, say the number
yes,
again.
it's 083 658 9393.
Wonderful. Because we are live on Facebook as well, I would ask you to go onto the comments of the video and just drop that information there so that people can contact you. You are based in the Western Cape.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful stuff. David Makhanya, thank you so very much for coming onto the show, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, Pastor Kevin, for the time.
Wonderful. That's Dave Makhanya, the man with a plan to make sure that it's in a way also about creating wealth. If you look at it, because if you are properly insured, then you have secured your family as well. Going to be speaking to one Yena Kuboni in a short while, who is talking directly now to issues of wealth creation, because the money that we waste, especially in this season, Christmas gifts and all of this and unmanaged resolutions and all of that, they are the very reason why we are always on a minus. So when Yena Kuboni gets here, we'll be talking about wealth creation and looking at the festive season and making sure that we save money, making sure that we create wealth. Here's a few songs before we get to Yena.
You are listening to Radio Cape Pulpit on 729 AM.